Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9. We're over here in the wastelands and it's time to do some more work around the place. Now, I have been quite sick for the past few days, so I haven't actually had much of a chance to do anything. I have gone through and picked up some stone and a tiny little bit more gravel, but that is about it. So that's not going to really help all that much with today's episode. And as I said, I am kind of sick, so my voice is kind of going in and out, so this may be a bit of a shorter episode than in previous times, or maybe like basically just a shorter episode than I was planning on for today. So anyway, we're going to go through and start placing down all of this stone, and I forgot about my boots. That's just going to show you exactly how well this episode is going to go for me today, although I do forget about the boots pretty much on a regular basis. The next thing we need to do actually around here is, before we put the walls in, we need to widen this staircase out, and I think also push it down a little bit. I think I want to push it down another 2 blocks, maybe another 2 to 3 or 4 blocks. The coolest thing about this place though is that because it has been built up to be a little like bandit's den, it does have crafting available to me, so I can come down in here and I've got all of my crafting benches and stuff set up and ready to go, which has been quite handy over the course of this build, because it's meant that I could just come in here and not have to keep flying home and flying back again to get to things. So anyway, I'm going to run through here, set up some more stone steps, and then we'll take a quick look at how all of this stuff is going. Okay, so I've made a good start on the smuggler's den. Now, as you can see, I've kind of boxed all this in, and I'm going to have to go in reverse here. But yeah, you will land in here, and you'll end up looking at this particular site. Now, I'm probably going to end up putting some kind of pattern in the walls, I think, maybe with a grey stone, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, this staircase idea, or at least the idea for this particular room, is kind of being pulled from one of the adventure worlds. There is, or one of the adventure locations, there is a staircase. It kind of looks a little bit like this, and yeah, there's going to maybe be a chest here, and there's going to be some barrels around the place, and potentially, like I said, some stuff going on up the walls. And of course we come down here, and this piece is not quite finished yet, as you can see, but it is going to be kind of a shelf or something along here, probably just a couple of cornice pieces with a few little random recipes there. I don't really know what I'm going to put there quite yet. We'll throw something in that gap anyway. And yeah, you can see this is kind of where we're going. We are very close to the edge of the world right here. So if I go out this way, this is the edge of the world. I literally can't go any further than that. Which means that, yeah, I'm going to have to, I don't know, snake this corridor this way a little bit before opening out into the actual smuggler's den that goes over here somewhere. So yeah, we'll have to see exactly what we do with all of those things. But yeah, definitely going to need a little bit of snaking, or I'm going to need to have the room open out only to the right, which, I mean, I guess I could do that. That could work, but I don't particularly like that idea. I guess we'll see. I'll try building a little bit more corridor, and then maybe start opening it out into something else, and just see how that looks and how that feels. But we'll have to, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a case of building something and seeing where it goes. And worst case scenario, I'll build out the entire room, decide I don't like where the corridor intersects it, and then I'll just kind of reconfigure the corridor a little bit to join it at a different location. So yeah, let's move on, build up this next guy. Now the other thing I will say is that eventually we're going to add a little bit of detailing into these walls. So I'm going to cut away pieces of stone and add in clay and sand and bits and pieces, just to make it look even kind of older and more decrepit than it kind of looks at the moment. Also, we do have a few cobwebs that are going to be stuck up around the place as well, just kind of like that, just here, there, and everywhere. Just getting in the way, kind of, yeah, making this place once again look just a little bit older than it actually is. Oh, I like that a lot. We're going to leave one of those like that, and then whatever else we have will go in behind the spiderweb. Beautiful. All right, let's crack on and keep building and build out to the main barrel area. Okay, so that room is now added on, so let's take a look at this thing, actually running it as you normally would, other than, of course, not being able to drop through the ceiling to get down into here. So we come down, it's probably going to be a door about here, I'd say, maybe actually about here, just so it doesn't interfere with anything else. Then I've added in this stone shrine. I'm not sure if I like that right now, but I'm just adding it as lighting for me as I go through and do this. I am going to have to light all of this stuff up, obviously, in the future, but that's something that I'll do later on. That's going to be more of a fine detailing exercise than anything else. Then down in here, this is the size of the kind of barrel area that we're going for. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be the final height or not, but I am starting to run out of brownstone again, which means that, yeah, I'm kind of running out of options here for continuing to stack this thing higher. So it's probably going to have to be finished in next week's episode, going through and kind of extending the ceiling and adding all of that kind of stuff. Or, yeah, extending the walls and adding the ceiling. That's what I was supposed to be saying there to all of this. Now, the other thing, obviously, this place does need some barrels, so good thing I have a whole bunch of those all the way over here. We've got many barrels that we picked up from the little excursion out into the treasure island. So we've got some barrels there. We've also got some crates which we might throw down. Those could just add a little bit extra to all of this stuff. Got a bunch of barrels in here as well. Plus, on top of all of that, I can actually make barrels too. So I don't need to be locked into just this number of barrels, but as you can see, I do have quite a number here, so I think we'll be fine going forwards adding barrels into this thing. Yeah, there we go. So go through and add a few of these barrels here. Now, and as you can see, like, I'm scrimping and scraping with all of my building at the moment, because normally you would actually have blocks in the corners and stuff, but at the moment I'm avoiding doing that because, as you can see, I am running out of stone completely and totally. So I end up probably needing to go and get some more, but that's okay. We'll do that before next episode, and that will be fine, hopefully. So I'm gonna just add gigantic piles of barrels around the place. Probably end up with some looking like they've been knocked over as well. There we go. Just a little bit like that. That's kind of cool. I like that a lot. Now, the idea, of course, is I think we're going to end up with a little, like, the exit out over this way somewhere. Just like that. And then kind of sort of making a maze almost out of barrels leading over towards this exit. Because, of course, like, the rum runners who own this place would know where that exit is and how to get out of here. And, of course, most of the time they wouldn't be coming here to do anything. They'd be coming here to pick up a few barrels of booze and moving on from here. So I'm just going to keep stacking things up a little bit willy-nilly almost. Not a whole lot of thought going into where these barrels are going down. I do also have that one barrel that I want to get rid of, so we'll throw that down there as well. And then, yeah, I think it's just going to be a case of continuing to fill this place out. However, as you can probably tell, my voice is starting to go a little bit more than it was at the start of this episode. So we'll see just how much more recording I can actually get done before my voice decides to give up the ghost and completely stop for the day. Hopefully I can get a fair amount more done, but you never know with sickness and that type of stuff. Every now and again it just decides, nope, that's it, and everything fails on you, which is kind of unfortunate, but not much I can do about it, really. So we'll have to, yeah, see how we go with all of that stuff. As you can see, lots of more barrels to be placed down, so I think I'll make a quick cut here, place down some more barrels, and we'll see how we're going with all of that stuff. Here we go. It's looking a little bit like a barrel forest right now. The lighting is not perfect for this, but as you can see, things are starting to take shape pretty well here. Actually a bit of a hole around here that I might have to fill up with a few barrels and bits and pieces, but I'm quite happy with how all of this is going. These barrels they just look good stacked together, so it's kind of helpful when things just kind of mesh together. Let's just take a quick look at this from the kind of entry perspective. Oh, that is awesome. That is really, really good. So also, okay, so I definitely need to push the roof higher so that this guy doesn't look completely out of place. He does look a little out of place right now, but I think that's just funny, so I'm going to leave it there. So obviously there's kind of sort of a track going through here. I'm going to leave a chest out the back here somewhere so that you have a reason to come out and check out this side of the adventure. And then, of course, we're going to move on through out over here. And you can see underneath the island right now, which is a little bit horrible because it's all just big square boxes out there, but that's fine. We'll fix it up eventually by having a new corridor come off this way. I'm thinking basically the new plan for this place, because this thing is a little bit different to what I thought it was going to be, and it's a little bit not basically it's just not in the same place as where I thought it was going to be, but it works where it is, and I think it looks looking pretty cool with all these barrels stacked up in there. Obviously I'm going to need to go through and light it all up as well at some point, but the plan now is to kind of extend this walkway a little bit and then have the room going off this way, which is going to be the sleeping quarters, and then another kind of snaky corridor going this way, and then another kind of warehouse thing again, but this one full of shelves and full of like bowls and pots and plates and the remaining crates and things that I have sitting around the place as well. So that's going to be more of like a warehouse storagey thing, whereas this is more like a barrel storagey thing. Obviously I've still got a few spots in here that need to fill up with barrels. I still have plenty of barrels left over to keep going with all this stuff. So yeah, so that's the plan. Like I said, we're gonna bit of corridor here, sleeping quarters out over this way. We're gonna have a warehouse type area here, and then we're gonna connect into a cave system somewhere over here, and that cave system is probably gonna snake from about where I'm standing now, so somewhere about here. It's gonna snake back and out and towards the corner of the map, and probably back over that way a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not too sure on that one yet. Anyway, so I'm going to keep pushing through with this, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 more cuts before my voice completely disappears. So here we go. Barrel Forest is now almost completely done. I have used pretty much all of the barrels I have, except for some of the tall barrels. Tall barrels are actually pretty hard to place down and use and not make them look just kind of a little bit ridiculous. So I've been using them a little bit more sparingly than I've been using the small barrels, but that's okay because I had lots of small barrels. So we have plenty of stuff going on around here, and that was already in my hands. There you go. But yeah, I'm finding that when you place down the large barrels, you definitely need to have some small barrels just kind of mingled in around them just to make things look a little bit better. They don't seem to look all that great on their own, but that's okay. I mean, it's fun. I do have barrels of both types, so we have absolutely no problem. But yeah, as you can see, it's looking pretty good around here. It's very, very barrely, and that is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted, and it is also quite disorganized as well, which is also perfect. I wasn't really ever planning on having this being the most organized thing in the world. So yeah, there you go. This place is now looking like it's pretty much done. The next thing, of course, is going to be to go through and to build up the warehouse that happens over here. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get to that today or not. I would like to, but yeah, I am really not feeling the recording all that much, and I probably should actually be in bed and taking meds and things to try and get better rather than sitting here playing SkySaga, but that's okay. Got things to do, so we'll push on with all of that. But yeah, I think the next thing I want to try and do is jump over to the public version of this island. So we're going to republish this island right now, actually. And I want to jump over to the public version of this island and see how all of this looks going through and doing it on the public version. Because, of course, as we mentioned last time, the feel of the adventure is basically the most important thing to me. So I want to go over, visit the public island, and check this out in public version and see how this looks and how this feels and how adventure-y this all is. So here we are on the public island now. I'm not really doing well on my jumping and things today, but come out this way and do it the normal way anyway. We really shouldn't be jumping up through the ruins to get out of that little area, but I mean it does work, so you can really do what you want to do there. Well, I really probably need to add a better path into finding this place because, oh, I seem to have lost connection to the server. We'll try this again. Here we go, that's better. I've actually managed to make it all the way across my little gravel pathway bridge. So, as before, there's a little, like, break sound effect and break effect that happens when you stand on these things. And it just, every time, it just feels awesome to do this. Like if you kind of go, just the way everything vibrates and sounds, it just, it's so good. I almost can't stop doing this, but I think we're going to come on through here, and we're going to fall far enough that the roof closes in over top of us, and now we're trapped, so we have to keep going down. And that's kind of the point of this place, actually, is to have that so that you kind of get trapped in here and you have to go down, and to even get out of here you have to follow through on all of this. So here we go. It's actually looking pretty good. I like how you can kind of jump up on things and get a bit of a better view of the barrel forest that's going on. Then you can kind of wander around down through here. As I said, there's going to have to be a chest kind of out over in this corner somewhere. Although I have kind of clogged this corner up a little bit more with barrels than what I had before. So we might have to go probably a chest in here, or I might remove a few barrels and add the chest there anyway. Let's see how high we can go. We can actually get all the way up to the top of Barrel Mountain here. So yeah, going to have to make the roof a little bit larger. I'm going to have to think very long and hard about the lighting sources that I want in here, because I don't really want to use like candles and things, because I want this place to feel abandoned. So I can't really have anything that wouldn't still be working after, like 10 years or 20 years or something. Because I really want to make this thing feel like it's just kind of been left in the lurch. So I'm thinking we'll probably end up stringing a couple of different types of, or a couple of different lights around here. We're not going to light this whole room up with one light. But what I'm thinking is we'll kind of line them up in a pattern and have one missing, or have a couple missing, or broken or something, just to give a little bit of intrigue to the build, and once again to make it feel as though it has been abandoned and isn't being used anymore, or hasn't been touched or seen for a long time. I think that's kind of where we want to go with this, and we'll see how all of that goes. Anyway, my throat is definitely starting to hurt a lot right now, so it's probably going to be the end of this episode. I am sorry that it's been a short one. I am going to try and get stuff together a little bit better, and hopefully not be as sick next week, so we can actually go through and do a lot more work around here, and hopefully start work on the actual graveling of the main section, so we can start building up these hills and bits and pieces that we need to do. So anyway, like I said, once again, sorry it's been a short one. I hope you guys have enjoyed that one, and I will see you in the next video.